Welcome to Chandwell. My name's Michael and I've been building this N-scale model of Bradford Cathedral from paper and card for almost an entire year. I showed the model for the very first time this month at the Burley Arts Festival in beautiful Burley and Wharfdale, Bradford. Quite a few people were asking me how I make such a small model look realistic, and I think that a large part of that secret is that I build up the model in layers. So I thought I'd make this short video to show how I incorporate layers of card and paper to build up a 3D effect on the model, which really helps to bring it to life. Here's the sacristy wall, which is made from 2 layers of 0.5mm card. You can see here, here and here that the window and door openings are cut slightly larger on the top layer than the bottom one. This allows me to wrap texture around edges, leaving a lovely beveled inward effect. The effect is subtle, but it's much more noticeable on the large window in the tower. But what about the beveled stone tracery of the windows themselves? I take a similar approach. Here is the same window printed 3 times onto a sheet of thin card. Each one has tracery that is fatter than the next. I then cut these out using my scalpel, leaving me with 3 windows that can stack on top of each other like this. The widths range from 0.4mm to 0.7mm, so it's not much of a change, but that change builds in a lovely bevel that again is subtle but effective, especially when added to the face. Once this is all done, I paint the tracery with stone coloured acrylic paint. We'll come back to this bit later. The end wall of the sacristy ends in a buttress that I needed to make about 3mm thick. For this I just used 3 layers of 1mm card to make the end wall. It's much easier to cut through 1mm card than it is 2, or heaven forbid even 3mm thick card. When working with layers, it always makes sense to have a drawing to hand so that you can be sure you're gluing them together correctly. I left a gap in the wall which will support the face that I made earlier. This allows the window tracery to slot into place without making the whole thing bend. With the framework of the sacristy in place on the building, we can get back to the layers. After adding scale scenes texture to the wall, I can add a photograph of the real door in the door frame. There is a lower plinth that runs along the bottom of the building here. I can add that as a simple layer of 1mm card, and then I can stick the fascia to the frame. With the roof added, and tiled, we can start to add more layers of detail. The gutter is a complete cheat. I just colour in the edge of a piece of 0.5mm card with a black Sharpie pen. I cut a strip off, and once it's on the building, it looks quite effective. The downspouts will go on once the ground is in place. Tiny 1mm wide strips of 0.5mm card can be added to the fascia to bring more depth and interest on these string courses. These really simple techniques all go together to make an effective and interesting fascia that works really well here on the cathedral, but can work equally as well on any other model building, such as these on Station Road in Chandwell. I'm here in Burley and Wharfdale's Art Festival with channel member Steve.
Hiya.
And channel member Chris.
Hi.
It's really nice to finally meet some channel members. It's been a really good couple of days. We saw a lot of this layering technique at the Arts Festival this weekend. It was wonderful to see the cathedral under natural lighting, which really accentuated those layered details. It was great to show some of my other models and Chandwell paraphernalia, but I was there to continue working on the cathedral. The layering techniques come in handy on the north and south wings that were added to the tower as part of the 1960s extensions. Here are the 3 parts of the end window before being glued into a stack. Back at home I used my scalpel held at an angle to introduce an angled edge to the component. This left it perilously thin down the edge. Thankfully my scalpel was sharp so it didn't tear the card. But it all glued together well. I used plastic putty to fill in the gaps. This south one will now have texture and more layers added, just like the north one that is slightly ahead of it. So I am showing the cathedral model again on the 13th of September, actually in the cathedral in Bradford this time. That's just 10 short weeks away. Do I have any chance of getting this thing finished? Well, between the 21st and the 27th of July, I have a full week off work, and I intend to work flat out on the cathedral model. Can I get 2 aisles, 2 transepts and 3 porches, all built in that week? Can I get the groundwork started? Can I get any of the finer details added? Who knows? but I will be posting 2 rough and ready, unedited videos every single day that week to share my progress, my successes and failures, and to answer any questions from you as I progress. Until that week then, thank you for watching this video, take care, and I'll see you then.